This Jocks 94.5 podcast is brought to you by Millennium Satellite and Video. Log on to msbnow.com. TV excellence everywhere. That's Millennium. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning starts now.
All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Going to talk a little bit of Tennessee here in just a moment. And this is a team we've gone back and forth on a couple of times this off season. What's the temperature on the Vols? And it's dependent on a couple of different things. We know the temperature in Alabama is still going to be hot for the next few months. And Alabama heat and humidity can be brutal. Don't let it affect your home and family. Keep them comfortable with an affordable Train cooling system. Recognized as America's most trusted brand 12 consecutive years. You can rely on a Train. Find a comfort specialist near you at Train.com. Jayson Swain, VFL, joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline now. All right, it feels like we have a little finality to the Chaz Coleman situation. We can just turn the page on this one. This one's over.
Yeah, man, it's over, man. Thanks for having me, guys. Good to hear from y'all. Good to talk to y'all. Yeah, it's over. I mean, he has a lot of potential coming over from Penn State, but that's pretty much where it is, man. It's the potential. But unable to lock in and do everything that was asked of him during the spring. And I think it's really hard to expect anyone to play for you in the fall if you're not completing the summer workouts. And if I'm a teammate, I wouldn't want him part of my team anyway. So that is over. That book has closed, and Tennessee moves on.
So this doesn't seem like it came as much of a surprise to anybody associated with Tennessee. Everyone I talked to said, yeah, we're not caught off guard by this. So it seems like they've already kind of made some things happen maybe among the depth chart or what have you to kind of elevate guys, to accelerate the development of some guys. So knowing that they kind of saw this coming, how much will this have an impact?
I mean, just from a depth standpoint, there's a extra body that you don't have, but I don't think it's going to impact the locker room or anything like that. I mean, I think these guys understood kind of what they were getting during the spring, and they operated as if he wasn't a part of the team all the way, dating back to April. But it's an opportunity for other guys to step up, other players, younger players, to step up. Maybe we see, Jim Knowles. We know how exotic that he can be, a new defense coordinator coming over from Penn State. When he was at Ohio State, he threw some things at Tennessee in that college football game that I don't think Tennessee was ready for. And so I'm expecting Tennessee to do some different things to account for maybe the depth there on the edge, on the defensive line, depending on the health of that unit. But, man, this group has moved on. It's an opportunity for other guys to step up and make plays.
Let's go to the offensive side of the football. Well, first off, depth. Is that now a real concern with you from the edge on this defense with losing Coleman?
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Norman coming over from Tulane. I mean, he's a guy that's played multiple college seasons. I mean, physically, he's ready to compete in this league. Tennessee has to obviously stay healthy, but 2 years ago with 24, I mean, Tennessee's defensive line was littered with talent and depth, and I don't know if Tennessee's going to have that type of depth. You wish you had that. You had some injuries. Davion Hobbs in the last couple of years with a foot. You hope that he's healthy and continues to be. He is now. But, yeah, these guys got to stay healthy. But I think it's going to give an opportunity for some guys that were, maybe buried, maybe had some early promise during, last season, but got bit by the injury bug to come out and really have a good showing on defense.
So looking at just the responsible nature of the defensive play calls, that's part of what I'm excited about, because I think you have a guy that's as good as it gets in Jim Knowles that has put together great defense and sound defense for a long time while still being aggressive. So how much improvement can we put on that side of the ball just based on the play caller itself?
Man, it was rough last year, guys. It is going to be better. That's one thing for sure. I think a lot of people are excited about that here. Jim Knowles, when he was at Penn State, they had some issues because I guess the system was a little advanced for them. He had a lot of success at Ohio State. That team went on to win the national championship and got the Penn State job. And the defense just wasn't as fast and fluid with the concepts as he would have imagined. That's something that he has admitted. He did bring several assistant coaches from Penn State with him, and that helps with the transition with these guys who are coming in for the first time, the transfers, younger players, or players who played in a different system last year. Bringing over several players also at different levels, every level of the defense from Penn State, I think will help too. And so the report I'm hearing from some of the backers on the football team is that they're moving faster. They're not letting their mind tie up their feet. The terminology is different, but football is football. I mean, you understand kind of what to do during certain situations versus formations and shifts and things like that. They just call it something different, but it is broken down in a way that helps them understand a whole lot better than they did in the past. So I'm excited to see what Jim Knowles does with the defense. I think the secondary will be a ton better, more athletic, guys who can run, guys who are bigger, guys who can hit in the secondary, and they're excited about being put in positions to showcase their skill set too from Knowles.
Jayson Swain, former Tennessee Volunteer, joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline, talking a little bit of this Tennessee football team this upcoming season. Where is the quarterback situation right now? How would you describe it?
Well, guys, I watched several scrimmages during the course of the spring. Each scrimmage, I walked out of there saying, Faison Brandon is a better quarterback. The first scrimmage, second scrimmage, and then, the air quotes spring game, each one of those sessions, Faison was better. And so I anticipate Faison to be the starting quarterback unless something happens during fall camp where George McIntyre comes back and wins this job. And it doesn't scare me that it's a true freshman. And you look at the last couple of years in the college football playoff, we haven't seen a true freshman, lead a team. But we have seen Josh Heupel do more with less at the quarterback position. We've seen him take Dylan Gabriel when he was at Central Florida and roll with a true freshman, and they play well. This offense, and Greg, this as well, like you can't trick the coordinator when it comes time to running the football or passing the football because of the line of scrimmage, and you have to declare. You can't be sneaky with guys that you have in the box. We know how many guys you have in the box because of the alignment. I think that helps the quarterback. We've seen this quarterback-friendly system, help the quarterback be able to lead this offense, and I anticipate the same thing to happen with Faison. He's going to have freshman moments, guys. That's what happens when you're a freshman. You just hope that they're not freshman moments that lead to pick six or a big negative play in a big game in the fourth quarter. But he's going to have his freshman moments. But he is special. I've never seen a freshman come in early enrollee and in a few weeks look the way that he looked. But he's still a freshman.
There will be some growing pains, but he does have a lot of talent. Everything I've heard is that he's ahead of schedule, which is great. And I do think there's an offense that can accelerate your development based on where you train your eyes to go. And honestly, Josh and those guys, they can kind of tell you where it's going to go. They've run it so long.
Yep.
So that'll be helpful as well. And I think the in-helmet communication can accelerate that as well. What about there's the rest of the supporting cast offensive, because I think their offensive line is remarkably underrated. I still love their wide receivers. I think their running back room's excellent. So it feels like the rest of the offense is in a really good spot.
Yeah, I was a sophomore when we had a true freshman quarterback at Eric Ainge, and, we got a chance to play Auburn in the SEC championship game, and, that team was special. No one beat them that year, but what allowed us to be able to put ourselves in that position to play in that game is that everybody else had to play well. That was the year we had 2 1,000-yard rushers, which was the first time it had ever happened in the history of Tennessee football. And I look at Deshaun Bishop leading the way for the running back room. He was a guy that was a bell cow for Tennessee, last year, even though half of the season I felt like he split some reps. I think this year is going to be more of his show. But I like the running back room. You got Javen Gordon came over from Tulane. DeJuan Morris is going to be up-and-coming sophomore. And Tennessee's had success at the running back position for the last couple of years. You've had multiple all-SEC players with multiple running back coaches. The system allows the running back, I think, to be right more times than not. And then you got Mike Matthews, who had an awesome breakout year last year, and then Braylon Staley as well. So that third receiver to replace Chris Brazzell, that's going to be the question there. But I like our offensive line. A lot of experience coming back. Ethan Davis, the tight end, very athletic, came on late in the season last year. Was injury, plagued a little bit, but he's super, super athletic. And his backup, Deshaun Brame, is also super athletic. These are two guys that during their careers early probably would play wide receiver. The physicality of the trenches is something they had to get used to. Ethan has done a better job of it coming in as a redshirt junior. But I like the offense. I like the supporting cast for potentially Faison Brandon being the starting quarterback.
I think Greg and I both feel like the offensive line is not getting enough love heading into this season. We agree with you. Running back should probably getting a little bit more love heading into this season. What do you make of the wide receivers? What's the ceiling? What's the reality of where that position is right now?
I think there's more depth and talent and athletic ability in this room than the entire in Josh Heupel's tenure. So you've had a couple guys drafted. You've had Chris Brazzell and Jalen Hyatt, Cedric Tillman. But I think this room has more explosion, more depth. I don't think this group is top-heavy like we've seen in the past years. I think the number 3 receiver opening is going to be a fascinating competition because you do have a true freshman, Tristan Keys, who was the number 1 receiver in the country last year. And he came in July. He's put on some weight. The speed is still there, and he feels more comfortable with the offense. So that third spot is going to be really, really fun to follow. But, yeah, Braylon Staley, baller. Mike Matthews, baller. Those two kind of lead that group, and it's going to be fun to see how he connects with the quarterback, Faison Brandon.
We appreciate the time, Jason. It's always great catching up with you, man. Talking college football. Hey. Let's do it again soon.
Let's do it. Thank y'all.
There you go, Jayson Swain. You can hear him on local radio in Knoxville. Follow him on Twitter at Swain Event. Josh and Swain, the radio show there in Knoxville. You can catch him on daily. Interesting thoughts on Tennessee. We'll follow up on a few of those. Continue talking college football and wrap up today's show next on Jocks.
Go inside Jocks 94.5 on Jocks TV. Morning Jocks, Mac and Cube, and 3-Man Front video simulcasts are presented by Bill Smith Buick GMC and Game Day Men's Health. Watch on the Jocks mobile app and YouTube by searching Jocks 94.5 TV.